Alright, take 3. Been having to mess with my microphone. I've never actually edited and finished a video like this on my PS5. I've only ever imported it to my PC, so this is a narrated invasion. It's 2 invasions, actually. And I picked these ones because they were what I would consider to be fairly sweaty, fairly try-hard. Not just from me, but from the hosts as well. And I think they're pretty good examples of how to deal with situations like this. So I started out just poking them a bit with the ballista. Excellent, excellent tool. It displaces people, it does damage. Even if you don't have the stats, it can do some decent damage if it's upgraded. But really the real utility is that it can move people. It can knock them off ledges. Or it can cause them to be bothered enough that they actually engage in the level. And try to find you. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm poking. I see now that they've gone back to the bonfire there. So I think this is a good time to aggress. So yeah, some gameplay. Another reason I came over again is also because I saw they had a co. I wanted to keep my co alive. So they're not too over leveled. I forget what they ended up being. Clearly the summon is doing some pretty good damage, so I have to be careful. All it will take is 1 or 2 good swings and a frost proc, and I'm gonna die. So this is good. I wanted to separate the 2, and my hope was that my co would be keeping the host busy so I could finish this guy off. However, that was not the case, and I ended up dying to it. His spell just came out a little bit quicker than mine, and the host, completely unbothered, backstabbed me. I get stuck in the doorway and I just eat a bunch of frost and magic damage, so GG's. But, seeing as how they have another co-invader, I figured that they were using the Taunter's Tongue, so I re-invade. And I think that it was my very next invasion I get back. Obviously, the co-invader is dead, so I have to play this pretty carefully. Try to kite them over to the PvE, but they're being a little... My chair's really squeaky. They're being a little coy. Running some pretty, I would consider to be mean setups. Not really, the Dark Moon Greatsword is not really that mean, but the dual scabs definitely is. I Dragonclaw here because I thought they were chasing me a little bit further, but they were not. So we're about to enter what I called standoff number 1. So they're busy either dealing with mobs or clearing out that staircase over there. So I decide that I'm going to go to this rooftop and pester them with the ballista. It's like, my voice is getting dry. I'm gonna open a soda. They don't appreciate me shooting them from the rooftop. So in a second here, I think they go to climb up here and attack me, which is what I wanted. That's kind of one of the big benefits of using the ballista. Is that you can't allow somebody just to get free damage on you over and over and over again. I need to drink less soda, honestly. So the guards in Leyndell, both the knights and just the normal guards, are vicious, especially at RL 80, which is the level of this character. If I had to guess, I would say the host is probably around 100, and the summon, I cannot remember what the summon was, but I think the summon was fairly close to meta. Maybe like 150. But I'll have to check the footage again to confirm. They go into a kind of a dangerous zone back there because they risk not only aggroing all the soldiers and guards that are here, but also the lion that's in the back there. Now, I thought that the lion couldn't even get up here, but in a little bit, he'll just hop right over. He doesn't care about that fence at all. I go a little bit reckless on my FP usage here. A little bit of a mistake because I ended up using up my 2 flasks that I have for invasions. Which is unfortunate. And I go for the Ancient Dragon Lightning Strike 50-50. But it only casts within line of sight and will not break roofs. So I wasted a bunch of FP for no reason. Anyway, here's the Lion's glitching out. I have time to buff, so I go ahead. At this point, you know, it's become fairly obvious that they're not just playing the level, right? They have Starlight Shards, they have Warming Stones. You know, they're smarter than the average bear, you could say. So I'm perfectly comfortable with going all out, I guess you could say. Or I don't want to imply that I'm this great PvPer. Obviously, I died earlier, but you tend to approach things a little bit differently when you realize that the host and summon are more capable than your average host and summon. I go for a firepot. That was a good throw, but he just didn't take enough damage. So we're about to enter standoff number 2, which is the exact same as standoff number 1. I think I contemplate going down here to help the other code that just invaded. However, I believe they're AFK. They're either AFK or they're just don't have any HP. They get whittled down pretty quickly. By the time I make up my mind, they're already dead. But for me, this is the best case scenario because it gives me another blue flask. I was running 6-1. Interesting. Normally I try to have 2 blue flasks. Even for just my physical only builds. But I was only running 1 blue. I'm not really sure why. Maybe I thought I could get away with it. This is my RL80 Dex build with a little bit of Arcane and a little bit of Faith to cast some spells. So yeah, right now they're shooting me with a great bow and camping in that little corner with Warming Stones and Starlight Shards. So if you had any thought in your head about these people being honest players, then that's that's way too late now for that. And for the record, I don't actually really mind when people play like this. You know, it is a method of play, right? Would I do it personally? Probably not. I don't even like using rune arcs. I just think that especially at mid-level, the rune arcs just have so much defenses that they add. It's ridiculous. You know, but to each their own. I think I go for some parries here, which is a mistake. I think these players were from Italy, and that's very geographically separate from where I'm at. So going for parries and stuff is kind of a bad idea. I do manage to land a backstab though. I'm trying to help out my other code because while my code mater is doing okay damage, he's also taking a lot of damage because he doesn't have very much vigor. So yeah, these people from Italy, I think. So it's going to be a little bit of a lat involved in fighting them. So as you can see, this guy starts swinging on me. At first I think he's confused. You know, there's a lot of traitor reds in this game. I think it's really the game's fault for not explaining the functions of an invasion. You know, they can lock onto you, they can do damage to you, you're red, you must be bad, right? You know, despite the little blurb that says kill the host whenever you invade, people don't pay attention. So I'm hoping he'll clue in onto what he's doing, but he doesn't, so I decide to kill him. Go for a backstab here, but he's a little latent as well, so it doesn't connect. At this point, someone in my chat was saying just use dual spears, which I forgot about. I don't know why I'm fighting this guy with a straight sword. I think I just really want to backstab or a parry just to be flashy, but, you know, eventually I just, I swapped to the dual spears. This was prior to the patch that nerfed them. I haven't tried them out yet. I'm assuming they're still good. I think damage was lowered across the board, but it's such a fast attack, and it does so much damage. Dual spears are pretty busted. But who knows, maybe the new patch that came with the DLC fixed that. I'm chalking up this Trader Red as to just being new to the game. He kind of has all the earmarks of a new player. He's wearing the Radon set. He's using Bloodhound's Fang. He's attacking without an EFP, I think. Fortunately, you know, Spears gets priority, which is absolutely insane, but, you know, there you have it. I don't point people down, you know, normally, so I never have it equipped, so I had to, like, look for where it was. That's probably a good thing. I probably don't need to be pointing people down. So at this point, I'm confused. I'm kind of questioning where the host is gone. There's a lot of places in this map that somebody can hide to resummon their buddy. So I'm kind of getting the layout of the land, seeing where they might be, looking for a health bar or something, any kind of indication on where they might be. And I think it's about now when I realize that he's ran all the way to the beginning of the map. He's clearly not around the door that leads to the mountain. So I'm like, wow, he actually ran all the way to the start of this level. Which is a long ways away. I do have to appreciate the Moog bubble. You know, it's more accurate for a bleed build, I would suppose. So we have a little bit of a back and forth here. Fortunately for me, dual spears are, I think, just better in this scenario. It goes for a resummon there. God, look at that. I keep priority. That's insane. So yeah, I even have Storm Stomp on the Nagakiba just to make it even more brain dead. It's literally hit 2 buttons and do 800 damage. Actually disgusting. But now I realize I just have to stagger and just wait a little bit, so you know. I don't mind people playing this way. It is annoying at times, but you know, it's part of the game. I think at that point I was just frustrated because it had taken so long. But hey, you play the game how you want. This was a fun invasion. It was more fun than the last one. This is on my max cast speed Spellblade, which is pretty fun. I joined in and I saw the sign of 2 dudes standing around. When there's 2 dudes standing around, that's how you know you're in for a good time. So we have like a Guts cosplay and somebody with some endgame gear. Just a little bit of back and forth. I'm not really familiar with the Mesmer Spear moveset, so I'm kind of feeling it out right now. It's cool that it has like a throw. Go for a parry, then I forget you cannot parry guard counters. It kind of feels like you should be able to, but you can't. It's just weird. There's even like, it's like guard counters and certain ashes where it's like you should be able to parry it, I feel. But I see that I get a Ko, so I'm a little bit more cavalier against Guts here. Going for a backstab there. He's really trying to make the guard counters work, and he might even hit me once or twice with one. But one of the neat things about the light greatsword that I have is that it attacks twice, which is really good against people that are trying to just guard counter you, because the first hit activates the guard counter, and then the second hit breaks their poise. Well, I shouldn't say poise. I should say it staggers them. It hits. But my Ko had like 500 vigor or 500 HP, so I'm forced to leave, try to get some help from the PvE. Now, typically when people are standing around in the area, you know, kind of semi-ganking or looking to fight, they tend to stick around near the Grace. This is where the Ballista comes in handy. You know, these people seem like they're good enough at the game that I don't have to, you know, I have to play a little bit more carefully, I should say. And I have to be a little bit more of a survivor. So I swapped to some of the regen talismans there, just to get a little bit of extra FP back and a little bit of health back before I re-engage. So the overall summon is not afraid of the lobsters. He knows he can just whittle them down, and he does. This is my first time fighting that Ash. I keep wanting to call him weapon arts, but that Ash. And it really combos well if you roll backwards, as I've come to find out. So this is good. These are lessons learned. A little roll catch there, go for a poke to finish him off, but he just manages to scrape by. And here's a weird... It seemed delayed, but he attacks the lobster and it goes up to its... Oh, okay. I guess I misread the animation. When I was watching the footage initially, it looked like it was going to attack and then just died. It's a little weird, but I guess that's the death animation for the lobsters. I got another Ko right now, so really all I'm trying to do is just keep this guy busy. However, my faith in my Ko invaders is not the best. Given that the last couple have had basically no vigor. I keep getting caught by the spear. It's strafable too. I found out it was strafable in the beginning, but it's such a good pressure tool, I think. Because not only do you have, you know, not only is it a great spear, but it's got a ranged option, and it also has a weapon art that's completely anime, so it's really hard to roll. It does look like it locks you in place, so maybe it's backstabbable. Anyway, I keep trying to maintain aggro because I'm trying to buy my fellow invaders some time. However, in doing so, I absolutely eat another Ash from this guy. Boy, does it do damage. I know enough to know that you don't stick around because there's the aftershock with the spears. But anyway, one of the benefits of my co-invader dying, though, is that I get a flask. So at least I'll have half HP before I attack again. I'm micromanaging talismans here now. And debating weapon usage. So again, the Great Katanas don't get any hyper armor, which is probably for the better. I think if they had hyper armor like a CGS, they would just be better than a CGS or a curved greatsword. However, it feels really weird that you're swinging around a weapon so big and it doesn't break somebody's own hyper armor. So I had another Ko there. Again, I don't feel too confident about my co-invaders, but you know, a 2v2 is much more preferable than a 2v1, right? So I go back to aggress on here. It looks like he's using a bleed build. So I stuck with the Great Katana. It's gonna be rough because all this person really has to do is just keep swinging. The Great Katana's moveset is not that fast. It's got a lot of, I would say, utility to it, and some of the attacks are pretty good at coming out fairly quickly, but if he just presses R1 twice, then I lose the trade immediately. So my other Ko, I think that one had like 500 HP as well, or like even less. So definitely probably a new player. Level vigor. I don't know what to say. It's one of the most useful stats in the game. Hopefully they learn something from that. I would like everybody to come out of this experience with an appreciation for invasions. I think they're super fun. If the short ones, long ones, like really any invasion is fun. Or can be fun. So right here, it's a little something weird. This guy locks onto me. I'm assuming it was unintentional, so I give him a little bit of space. However, he decided that it would be a better idea to chase me and not the people that were actively attacking him. Again, you message these people, they're probably just new to the idea of invasions and new players in general. The popularity of the game and the DLC is, you know, we're just gonna have a lot of people that don't know how to play. Yeah, 500 HP. So it's good for me, it's a free flask, but so far that's like been like 3 or 4 co-invaders that just have been like one shot essentially. I don't know if I went over this one. I have another guy that came in, but he had even less HP, so he got killed immediately. So it really wasn't worth it for me to go in there and assist him. Keep in mind, I'm getting flasks back, but the host and summon should be as well. And yeah, I got a free flask there because the same person invaded again, but then saw who it was and then left. Right here, I'm having a little bit of a moral debate because I see on the health bars that my next co-invader has no HP, so I'm just assuming he's going to die. But as I stand here, I actually see he's doing quite a bit of work. So I'm like, okay, I'll actually go over and help. But at this point, maybe they're tired of chasing me, or maybe they actually do want to duel. I'm not really sure. They were fighting 2v1 in the beginning, so I'm kind of distrustful of them, but they dropped me some little items. These stones are only in the DLC, and I guess there's only a certain amount of them that you can craft, which leads me to believe that these people are probably either duping items or they have like a CE save that they're using. Nothing really wrong with that as long as you don't edit your stats and just plain up cheat, I think. But now that we're in a 2v2, dealing with this guy is honestly much more manageable. Got a lucky little guard break there. I R2'd and he R1'd. And I R2'd just a little bit faster. So I admire this host sticking with the Uggs. Uggs, in my opinion, they're good damage, they're great in PvE. They're not the best PvP weapon, I don't think, just because they're so slow. So I start out here just fishing for backstabs. It's kind of hard to land it on one on him. I don't know if I'm probably attacking too quickly out of the roll, so I'm doing a rolling attack instead. That just looks like a new roll one, so I'm not sure. Again, looking for a backstab. Still can't land one. My greed for backstabs has gotten me killed so many times. I think he's cognizant that he really just has to swing. Nothing I can really do will beat his hyper armor unless I space and then attack after or before the hyper armor starts. So here I swap to a greatsword. This is the only class I have on this build that does have hyper armor. It's obviously not going to outclass a colossal sword. However, this is the bastard sword, I think. On this build, it has probably one of the higher attack ratings or AR out of any of my weapons. So with frost and everything, it hits pretty hard. So I'm out of heals. Given the state of the invasion and how prepped these guys were, I don't really feel that bad about using this. And then finally I get a backstab. Probably for me, I think the easier attacks to backstab when it is an Uggs, or just in general, are the running attacks, like the running strong attacks, and jumping attacks. That was a really good delayed R2 from him there. I managed to screw with my roll timing a little bit. So I'm contemplating going for a backstab there, but I don't really have the angle for it, so I roll out. That's what I like to call some DS3 shenanigans, where you punish a backstab whiff with a backstab by yourself. I go for an R1 in between swings. I thought I would be fast enough. It is not fast enough for the greatsword, come to find out. Another whiff. I'm surprised he hasn't like swapped out his strategy, but I have to give him props. He is a man of conviction. And I gotta admit, I love colossal swords. I think they're so fun. So here we go. There's some DS3 shenanigans. But I charged R2 on wake up for some decent damage. And then here, I see that he's using his physics, so he's probably low or out of HP. So I space his attacks, and I go for just a 2-hit follow-up. Because I know that my second swing will come out faster. So I just need to be able to connect, and I hope that he mashes R1, then I win. Like so. But yeah, those are two invasions, one that was kind of not fun, and one that was really fun. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll try to do more narrated invasions in the future.